Hello everybody, welcome first ever commentary on the Paintball 3747 channel. I think this has been a long time coming, and I think this was the perfect opportunity to finally do a narrated video and kind of have just random gameplay in the background, because I have thoughts on the Black Ops Cold War Alpha. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the notification squad, as they're really the only ones who continuously watch the videos. Even if, I'm not going to say who, but just sees the notification, comments, doesn't actually watch the video, but I'll leave that to the person to figure out who they are. But this video is basically just going to be about the Black Ops Cold War Alpha and kind of my thoughts on it. I think I have a good thought process behind what makes a good Call of Duty game. Well, I mean, if there's anyone watching this video who aren't my friends, they're probably going to disagree when I say that Modern Warfare was my favorite Call of Duty. I think Modern Warfare did pretty much everything right. I mean, this isn't a Modern Warfare review, but I think it's important to give my impressions of Modern Warfare, so the Black Ops Cold War ones kind of make sense. Modern Warfare, I think, really had pretty much everything down to making it. I mean, it was pretty much a revolution, I think, in Call of Duty terms. It pretty much changed how the game played, and I think that was really, really necessary. Especially since, I don't know, especially me, I was just getting really kind of fatigued with COD. And Modern Warfare kind of changed that, and I think that game is literally perfection in my eyes. So that kind of influences how I think about the Cold War Alpha, but we'll see what people think. Or, well, I mean, my friends will see. I don't know. But anyways, so I broke this video into 5 categories. So I'm going to talk about the maps in the alpha, I'm going to talk about the guns, the perks, the gameplay flow, and the score streak system. And the score streak system, my god, and then we'll leave that to the end, but that is probably, I'm just going to say right off the bat, that is probably my least favorite thing about this game. Oh my god, I hate it so much, but anyways, we'll just we'll leave that to the end. So, first, I really wanted to talk about the maps, and I think, for the most part, I think the maps were okay. I really preferred the combined arm maps, just because I really like more open maps, hence why I think Modern Warfare did such a good job with their map design. And I know people are going to talk about the safe spaces, and that's all people talk about online, you know, and how much the game is hated, but I mean, it's so hard to have a conversation about Modern Warfare with people, like, online, because they just rip it to fucking shreds. When literally that is like, I don't understand how anyone can shit on Modern Warfare. I get how they can shit on the map design a little bit, because it's like there was just so many like safe spaces, as Joe Seacott likes to call them.
Yo, it's supposed to be kicked out at 10, bro.
But I think the more open maps and the throwback maps were so good in the game, and I just, oh my god, I love how much Modern Warfare. I just love how well it plays in practice, and the maps were super friendly to play however you want. You could do whatever you want, where versus Treyarch maps, it's mostly 3-lane. But the combined arm maps reminded me of the Modern Warfare maps. I think that they were a lot more open, and they allowed for kind of versatile gameplay. You could kind of do whatever you wanted to do. You didn't have to follow a strict lane, and that's what I like about those maps. And then the core maps, Miami was, here's another, a lot of people hate on Miami, and I don't understand. I really liked Miami. I thought Miami was, it was more of an open map. It was a big map, but I think it was good. I don't know. I don't understand why people were hating on that map so much. The map you see now, Satellite. I think Satellite was probably the worst map in the beta, or in the alpha. Sorry, I'm talking about the beta, because the beta just went live like 30 minutes ago, which I will not be playing, because I do not play on PS4 anymore. I play on Xbox. But I was able to play the alpha just because it was open. I didn't have to pre-order it, but I did pre-order it on Xbox. So if there's actually anyone wondering, I don't think there is, but anyone wondering why I haven't been uploading any clips or anything, that's because Xbox One does not allow you to capture any videos that are longer than 5 minutes. So it's kind of a waste, and it's a bit harder to upload to YouTube. So I just choose, I don't know, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to hope the Series X has an upload to YouTube feature, and where you can capture gameplay more than fucking 5 minutes, because it's ridiculous. But anyways, yeah, Satellite that you're seeing right now, and with this gun, I forget what the gun's called, the Type 63, I think. That gun was overpowered as hell in the alpha, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. But this map, I think, was way too open. Oh my god, like, look where I am right now. I'm just like in the fields, And I did go off this game, but this is definitely an exception. I was absolutely playing like shit on this map, which obviously influences how I'm going to think about the map. But I really just don't think that this map objectively is a good map. I didn't really understand why one area was so open, but then up on the satellite is so condensed. It just feels like when you spawned at the C flag, you were totally trapped, as I'm doing to them right now. Like I was trapping these people the entire game. And I don't really understand why this seems to be a trend in Cold War, because this is what I was experiencing. It's kind of a trend in Modern Warfare as well, so I don't know if that's kind of what, I mean, well, no, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I don't know why that's becoming a really big thing. Like, the spawns aren't flipping as much, but in this map it was a lot more prevalent with how, I mean, this guy really did that. Just how open this map was and how spawn trapped you could get people. I don't know. Like, look, see, I'm and then he spawns there again. It's the AFK guy. He spawned in the exact same spot when I didn't even move like 10 feet. Like, it's just like, what? Anyways, Moscow, I had such mixed feelings about Moscow. I mean, it's going to be different now. I know when people are going to play the beta, and maybe if they stumble upon this video, like, this is the alpha, and they made so many changes from the alpha to the beta, apparently. Treyarch released like a whole list of patch notes that they did. And I just don't see how they can really change the map, though. Like, I mean, I think for Call of Duty to be fun, like, the maps need to be fun. Like, game, obviously gunplay and, you know, movement has to feel good and everything, which this game, I mean, we'll get into that. But the maps just don't, I don't know, they were boring. Like, Moscow was kind of a typical 3-lane, and I'm not a 3-lane fan, so I played well on Moscow because I mean, I played Treyarch games, I played Black Ops 3 to the fucking core, and so I understand how 3-lane works, and I understand how, you know, when to anticipate people coming and, you know, where anticipate spawns. But in this game, it just felt way harder to anticipate spawns. Like, well, in Dom it's easy, but in Team Deathmatch I was having a difficult time. But even then, I mean, Moscow was just so boring to me, and so is Satellite. I think Satellite was the worst map by far. And then again, I think Miami was definitely the best out of the core maps, which is definitely not a popular feeling, but I don't know how people cannot like open maps. Unless they're really into the, I mean, I know people are into the 3 lanes. I know people like the, you know, they say it's a lot more competitive. I don't know why. I mean, I guess that is true. Like, you really do have to be, or it's like kind of a head-on kind of collision with gunfights. But I just don't really, it's just not my favorite. It's not, that's why Infinity Ward has always made my preference of maps that are a bit more open, allow for a bit more space to move around and kind of explore and, you know, kind of hold up areas. I know people are going to say that's camping, but it's not. You're kind of holding up areas. So yeah, that's the maps for the game. And then we can go on to guns. The guns in this game, I think, oh my goodness, like, compared to Modern Warfare, I'm gonna do a lot of comparisons to Modern Warfare. The guns in this game were just, they were just kind of shit. I'm gonna be honest. They sounded like shit. They felt like shit. It felt like a little cartoon compared to Modern Warfare. This game in its entirety is such a step down from Modern Warfare. It is the biggest step down, and it sucks that this game had to come out after Modern Warfare, because I really do think Modern Warfare spoiled the COD community with how they advanced so much shit and how much better it played than previous CODs. And I mean, I liked Black Ops 4. But definitely by Black Ops 4 I was over kind of the Black Ops name, and I mean, here we are with Black Ops Cold War, but over the Black Ops name and over the Black Ops gameplay, because it all had kind of signature gameplay. And when Modern Warfare came out, it really just did change the entire game, and weapons felt so heavy and so distinct, and every weapon sounded amazing. Black Ops Cold War was just the biggest step back. Like, it was just like, look, even the running animation is just so clunky, and you know, this looks like a Black Ops 4 reskin. It sounds like a Black Ops 4 reskin, and it plays like a Black Ops 4 reskin. This is the alpha though, so keep that in mind, that this is only on the alpha. This is not my impressions of the beta, so I haven't played the beta yet. I'll be playing it this week because the Xbox Early Access starts this week. But from what I played, I really did not enjoy the guns. I don't know, they were just, and there was obviously overpowered ones. Submachine guns were kind of reigning supreme. I mean, there's the Commando, but the AK-74U was kind of the dominant gun throughout the game. Especially on Moscow, I found everyone was using an MP5 or an AK-74U. I mean, that's gonna come hand in hand with a small map, but like, they were so good at long distance like engagements, and it was just getting so annoying to have to always use the AK-74U. So that's why I started to switch up my guns, and I did discover that the Type 63 was really, really good. It's either 63 or 83, I don't actually remember, but it's in the gameplay right now. So that, I mean, I guess that was okay, like, trying out different guns, like, that's always kind of fun, but it was just so annoying to always go against the AK-74U and have to play with it if everyone else is on the other team is using it, and you're like, oh my god, fuck it, let's bring it out. That's kind of how this game was going, you know, like, you'd always, like, it's like in Modern Warfare and people are using M4A1s or the MP5, like, oh my god, we have to bring it out. That's kind of what it was like, but it was every single game. And I don't think it's gonna be like that for launch, but this is obviously just the alpha. And like I said, the guns just, oh my god, it makes me so mad, honestly. When I first played this game, like, I got more used to it throughout the weekend, but when I first played it, I mean, you can ask my friend Daniel, he was like thinking the same, just how much of a step back this game was in terms of how the guns sound and feel. It just felt so cartoony and toyish. And I know that's what, like, but that to me, that's the Black Ops feel. That's why I'm like, this game just does not feel any different, and it doesn't feel like an evolution. We're going into 2020. Sorry, we're going into 2021. This game is launching into 2020. You know, coming out in the new generation and everything. And I mean, you do have to cut them a little bit of slack because they have to make so many versions of this game for so many consoles. There's so many different consoles that they can play this on. Because there's, you know, there's the different kinds of PlayStation 4s, and then there's the PS5, and then there's so many different kinds of Xbox Ones. There's the OG, the Xbox One X, Xbox One S, and then there's like the digital one. You know, like there's so many versions. So I understand that this may be a bit of a difficult game to develop, and especially when they were brought in so late to the development cycle. But I'm sorry, like, I'm not gonna, like, there still has to be kind of a standard of quality. And Modern Warfare just raised that bar, and I just don't think that this game really delivered at all in this category for guns. It's Black Ops gunplay. That's all it is. That's nothing new. Like, it's nothing fresh. It's just what you know, and it's, I don't know. I mean, I love Call of Duty, but I'm so bored of this Black Ops shit, to be honest with you. I really just wish that they kind of stuck with the Modern Warfare engine, or maybe even tweaked. But they used here's the thing though. They used like the Black Ops 3 engine with Modern Warfare implementations, and I just think that was, I mean, there has to be a decision behind that. I'm not a developer, like, I don't know. I'm just going off of what I read. And this game just did have, I just don't know why they didn't go with the Modern Warfare engine. I really don't. I think that engine was so good. And obviously a lot of people agree, because Warzone is the most popular battle royale. And so, I mean, and the game itself, multiplayer, Modern Warfare multiplayer, it's the most successful Call of Duty game to ever be released. It's more successful than Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, any of the really popular ones. This game beat out to shit. Or not this game, sorry, Modern Warfare beat it up to shit. That game is just the best game ever. You can tell how much I love that game. So going from that to this was just, I don't know, it just was not my favorite thing. Now, before I get into the last two categories of the perks and the score streak system, I kind of realized when I was editing this video that I didn't talk about any positives of the game, and so it was pretty negative. So I did want to say a couple of things that were fun. Like I said, Miami was a really, really fun map. I had a really good time playing that map. Every time that map came on, I was excited to play. So that kind of shows, like, that kind of demonstrates it's not an awful game. It's still fun because it's Call of Duty. Like, Call of Duty is always a fun game. There's just a lot of flaws, but I'm not going to talk about that right now because this is positive. So Miami was fun. I did enjoy Miami. I think it looked really, really cool. And that's kind of it for the maps. But then, what I didn't mention about the guns is the sniping. Oh my god, the sniping in this game is awesome. I loved the sniping in this game it was so satisfying to get a kill with a sniper. So I really hope that they don't change anything with that. They said that they were going to nerf the snipers a little bit in the beta and in the full launch, because in alpha, they had them intentionally buffed just to get data. But I didn't really see a problem with them being that strong, because I mean, people were complaining left, right, and center about the snipers. I didn't have too much of an issue with them. I actually really enjoyed running around with a sniper. I'm not too much of a quick scoper, so I wasn't doing too much of that. But even like in combined arms, it was so fun to kind of, post up and get a few headshots cross map. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it, and it was really satisfying. And then I did kind of, I guess, go a little bit overboard with the guns and talking about the balance. The guns were balanced. Every gun did have its own place. There obviously are better guns, like in Modern Warfare, the MP5 is a better gun. Just like in this game, the AK-74U is a better gun. And that's pretty much, I mean, you did see a lot of people running it. But you could use the other guns and still do well. I use a couple of the other guns in the clips that I have here, and I do well. And they, I mean, I'm not going to say that they weren't, I mean, that they are not fun to use. I mean, I did say it, but they're not awfully, like, they're not boring to use, but it's not as fun as it could be, is kind of where I was going with that. So yeah, I really did not mind how the guns felt. It's just, coming from Modern Warfare, it was just such a step down in that regard. But even so, it is a Call of Duty game. Like, it's still fun. It still is good, and the sniping was so much fun. The sniping was awesome, and that's honestly, I'm not even lying, that was one of the bigger drivers for me, like being like, yeah, I do want to get this game because I just want to snipe, because it is just so satisfying. I would even argue it's more satisfying than Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare sniping is awesome, but the sniping of Black Ops Cold War had some sort of, I don't know, the way that the sniper kind of bounced when he took the shot, and the way you kind of ADS'd, it was just so satisfying. So I really enjoyed that. And then I do want to talk about I didn't really talk too much about the combined arms maps. Those maps are really good. I thought they were really well designed. The total openness, and especially Armada with the water. I love water combat in Black Ops. That is one thing I really missed in Modern Warfare, and they did a really good job bringing that back in this game. I really enjoyed excuse me. I really enjoyed how the maps felt, the combined arms ones. And even Crossroads, the big snow, finally a snow map. Like, snow, I don't understand why Call of Duty strays away from snow maps, because they play so well. And especially in a Cold War setting, this was awesome. These two maps were really fun. And I really, honestly, throughout the weekend, I really enjoyed playing combined arms more than I played core. Just because it was so much more fun. And those maps are so well designed, I think. I think they were really, the spawns were equal, the flags were in good positions. There's ample room to kind of flank, and I think the player count, I mean, bear in mind it is a bit lower than the regular ground war, obviously, that we have in Modern Warfare. That's kind of like a battlefield mode is what I like to think of it as. But this, I think the player count that they had was actually pretty good. I think they are planning to up the player count a little bit, or they're making like another mode with different player counts. I'm excited to see where they go with combined arms and like the new maps that they add. So that's going to be really interesting. And then something I didn't even mention is everything is free post-launch, and that is always so good. I'm so happy that Call of Duty is stopping with their Seasons Pass and doing a seasonal sort of system. I don't mind the seasonal system. And what I mean by that is kind of the seasonal rewards. I do not like, I mean, this is positive, so, and I don't really get into this video, but I really am not a fan of season ranks. I think getting rid of prestige was another thing that Modern Warfare did so horribly wrong. I think that was a really stupid idea. But I'm not going to touch on, I mean, I just did touch on it, but I'm not going to get into that because we don't know officially what the ranking system is going to be. And obviously in an alpha, they're not going to have an official ranking system, so I'm not going to give them too much flack on that. But the fact that post-launch maps are free and zombie maps are free and, all of that, that makes me so happy because it doesn't separate player bases, and that was the worst thing, is in the older CODs, when the newer, the map packs would come out, the player base would just get smaller and smaller, and it would take longer and longer to find the game because fewer people would buy the map. So I'm so happy they're continuing with that, and I hope that remains a thing, and I hope there's no loot boxes, please, fucking mother of God. I hate the loot box system, but I think the season, getting free weapons and shit like that is so much better than rolling the dice trying to get a new gun and cosmetics. I like the fact that you can pay $10 for the battle pass and never have to pay again, and you can get all the cosmetics in the game. I think that is awesome, and it should stay like that. And I think that is one of the best things that, probably the most consumer-friendly thing that Call of Duty has done in recent years. And I'm glad they're sticking to that with Black Ops Cold War. So this is kind of random that I'm doing kind of the positives in the middle of the video, but I'm going to end it now. and I'm going to go back to the negatives. So, I did kind of just want to put this in the middle because I don't want the whole video to be negative, and I don't want it all to be, that I hate the game, because the truth is I don't hate the game. It's just when I go play Modern Warfare and then I went to play Black Ops Cold War, the disappointment that I felt was very, very high. But I even felt the disappointment before I played the game, just because I mean, I saw and I read about the engine, and I read about, and I just kind of the gameplay changes that they were making, especially the score streak system when the the big YouTubers got to play the alpha, the closed alpha. Seeing the gameplay, I could kind of tell how it was going to play, and I was pretty accurate in my predictions to myself. So I am disappointed, but that's not to say that I mean, it's definitely not going to be my favorite game, but I'm still going to enjoy playing it this year, and I'm still going to support it. I'm going to buy the Battle Pass. I always do. I always want the cosmetics in Call of Duty, because I do play them to shit. So I don't think it's going to top my almost 24 days of playtime in Modern Warfare. I don't think I'm going to get that in Black Ops Cold War. We'll see. You never know. Maybe when the game launches, it's going to be totally different. But as it is right now, who knows? But there are good things about the game, and the game, I mean, it is going to be fun to play because it's a Call of Duty game. I needed to put that there. We're fine in this game. The only one I had trouble with was Ninja, because I was really, really excited to see a Dead Silence-esque type perk come back. Like Modern Warfare obviously only had the field upgrade, which was kind of annoying. But I really, really was excited to see a new perk, but it seemed like it didn't do shit. I always used it, and it seemed everyone always knew where I was, and then I would listen to the kill cam, and you could always hear my footsteps loud and clear, so I really don't think that perk literally did shit all. So that's my only complaint about perks. Obviously, we had a limited selection in the alpha. There's going to be more in the beta, and obviously the full game, so we'll see then. But for now, it was fine for me. I didn't really have too much of a problem with it. Then I wanted to get into the score streak system, because this is a big topic. I really, really like the saying that applies to this topic is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because this was the stupidest change they could have made to Call of Duty, and I fucking hate the fact that they tried to change a formula that was perfect before. Score streaks were perfect. I love kill streaks a bit more. I know I'm kill whore. But score streak was fine with me. I mean, capping a flag, getting points for your streak, I thought was fine. But this new score streak system, it doesn't encourage you to take flags, because it's not a score streak system. It's a streak system, because it gives you more points the more you go on a kill streak. So why they called it a score streak kind of, revamp, I'm not entirely sure, because it's not that. It's not that at all. It honestly, it feels like they really tried to do, this big spin for this game, because they probably realized they didn't have much to change. And this was just not a good change. It didn't do what it's meant to do. A score streak system is you're supposed to, you're supposed to get score for your streak. This did not do that. Instead, what it did is it just encouraged people to sit and camp for their streak to get good streaks. And that's not even to mention that they do not reset upon death. I don't understand. That is the most, I'm going to be using some stupid terminology, but that is the most noob-friendly thing that they've ever implemented in COD. Obviously, there's skill-based matchmaking, and that's to protect the little ones. And, it does get annoying at times, but I don't have as much of a problem with it as I do with this. And I know a lot of people did not like skill-based matchmaking, especially in Modern Warfare. Oh my god. But this just seems like a way for, little Timmy to get his chopper gunner for the first time in his entire life. And I don't understand. I guess I get why they obviously want to retain new players, and they want them to keep playing. That's obviously a business practice, but to do this move at the expense of, an actual fun game, and what I mean by that is a game where you can actually do super well, and in the end, because this is what happened every single Dom game, is near the end of the game, chopper gunners, attack helicopters, napalm strikes, just over and over and over again, because everyone saved up their streak to the end. That is something that they need to change for the beta and for launch, and I hope they can change the system pretty much like overhaul the entire system, because it was just so boring. Oh my god, boring and annoying and just so stupid, because there was no adrenaline on your streak. The thing, there's that little fun part with kill streaks in COD where you're close to, let's say you're on a 10 kill streak, you're close to the 11th kill streak and whatever it gives you for that. And you don't want to die, so you're playing super carefully. And that entire adrenaline, that entire drive is gone in this game. It's completely gone. And I think that was one of the funnest parts about Call of Duty games was that kind of adrenaline you got when you were on a streak. And you're kind of paying attention, but try not to pay attention because you'll focus too much on trying not to die, and then you'll die and you get mad. That whole system is gone because you can just get all your streaks in the game if you continually play well. And I think what I just said there is kind of where they were going, is they want to reward people who play well consistently, which I guess is okay, but it took away such a fundamental part, I think, of the game, and it's especially of Call of Duty as a whole. And it's just something that they did not need to fix. They did not need to fix kill streaks. I just think that was the stupidest, score streaks, not kill streaks. That is the stupidest. I just thought that was the stupidest decision. I really, when I read about it, my worry was that it was gonna, encourage people to not get flags, because obviously their streak is more important. But then they just added on top of it where it doesn't respond upon death, and I was like, well, okay, that's just gonna be a fucking napalm over and over and over again, and that's exactly what it was. So that was not fun. That was not a fun part of the game. And so that kind of brings me to this is my last point. I still have so much more gameplay, and I'm just going to let it play, but this is going to be my last kind of main point, and that's the gameplay, pretty much the entire package that this game offers. And I just, honestly, for what it was when I played, it is the biggest step down from Modern Warfare, and it sucks that this game had to come out after Modern Warfare, because I honestly think that if this game maybe came out before, if this game replaced Black Ops 4, I honestly would be fine, and maybe this game had a blackout, because I love Black Ops, but if this game had like its own blackout and stuff and just replaced Black Ops 4, I think it would have been differently received on my end. But since it came out after Modern Warfare, I just don't see myself really loving this game. Obviously, I have it pre-ordered because I'm a Call of Duty fiend, and it's just, it's what I do. But I really don't see myself loving this game for the entire year, like I did Modern Warfare. I would die on the cross for Modern Warfare. I love that game so much, so it really sucks that this game kind of has to come out after it, because it's just gonna obviously I'm a little bit biased towards Modern Warfare. It's kind of hard for me not to be. I'm trying to look at it through a non-biased lens, and I really, even through that lens, I still think that this is a very, very inferior game. It's just not as good as Modern Warfare, and I don't know how it's going to be able to get there, to get to the point where Modern Warfare is. I really don't. But it's going to be interesting to see how they do Warzone. I'm really, really interested in seeing how they do that, because Warzone, it's not my favorite part of Modern Warfare. It's still really, really fun. If I'm getting bored of multiplayer, I'll hop into Warzone and I have a really good time. But I'm interested how they're gonna introduce kind of the worlds together, especially with the gameplay, because the gameplay is so different between the two. So it's gonna be interesting on how they do that. And speaking of the gameplay and the difference between the two, that's kind of where it brings me to my next point, and it's just how much clunkier this game felt. I don't really know how you could get much clunkier than Modern Warfare, because the guns in Modern Warfare, they really do feel like they have weight to them, and they really do feel like you have to kind of pick how you're going to traverse the landscape with an LMG or an SMG or an assault rifle, where with Black Ops Cold War, it just felt so weird running and jumping and the sliding, like it's like when you slid, you were going down a slip and slide, like you went so fast and far, and I don't know, it was so clunky and just so awkward. That's the best word for it. It was awkward. And I did get more used to it throughout the weekend. Obviously, like, there's always going to be a little bit of a learning curve with every new Call of Duty. But this one just felt like it literally took me almost to the end of the weekend to kind of, like, it was kind of the last day when I really started to play a lot better. And I was just like, what happened? Like, why is it so, like, why is it so clunky? I don't understand. So, but that is something they said that they fixed for the beta, and the beta obviously is live now, so we'll see how people think about it and what people are saying. because it was not. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. The movement was not fluid. It was not good in the alpha. It felt so weird. And I mean, compared to Modern Warfare, again, Modern Warfare is just so perfect in so many ways. The movement in Modern Warfare was so clean and so real, and just, oh my god, it was so good. And just going from that, I mean, hopping off my Xbox to the PlayStation to play, on the first day, I was like, what the fuck is this? What am I playing? Because it was just so weird. Oh my goodness, I did not love it. But anyways, that kind of wraps it up. That's kind of pretty much it. The best way you can say that the game is it's awkward. It was awkward in the alpha. It was just a weird. It was just weird. That's pretty much all I can say. It's not profound, but it's just like, I don't know. It just was a very weird game to play, and it is definitely, I can tell you right now, this is not going to be my top 3 Call of Duties. That is an understatement. It probably is, I mean, so far is definitely one of my least favorites that I've played. We'll see if that changes, but so far definitely my least favorite. So thanks for watching. I think I'm going to let the rest of the gameplay show. It's probably going to be a long video, but I'm happy to get out my first commentary. I know it's not going to be that good. I'm not going to do much editing, so sorry for the hiccups and me saying all the time and trying to think about what I was going to say, but that's how it's going to be. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and maybe I'll see you in another commentary sometime soon. Maybe I'll be able to do it with my Xbox Series X, let's hope. Bye.
Multiple hostile spy planes detected. Securing Echo. Losing Foxtrot. Losing C. Losing D. Enemy to Foxtrot. Hostile spy plane established overhead. We lost Delta. Losing C. Enemy spy plane inbound. Multiple enemy spy plane contacts. Enemy is Charlie. Hostile artillery targeting active. Artillery inbound. Artillery targeting detected. Net call. Incoming artillery. Enemy spy plane inbound. Taking C. Losing Alpha. Multiple enemy spy spy plane contacts. Charlie secure. Keep it up, MI6. You're taking this. Taking Delta. Hostile artillery targeting active. Artillery inbound. Hostile spy plane established overhead.
Hostile frag grenade. Stun grenade.
Enemy RCX detected. Losing C. Securing D. Hostile artillery targeting active. Losing B. Hostile artillery targeting active. Artillery inbound. Enemy took B. Securing Bravo.
Standing by. Spy plane in the turn. We have eyes on. Spy plane mission time extended.
Securing B.
We're flying on. Spy plane returning to base.
Hostile spy plane established overhead. Net call. Hostile chopper gunner operating. Multiple enemy spy plane contacts.
Fucking pussy.
Hostile artillery targeting.
Destroyed.
Net call. Incoming artillery. Losing Charlie.
Enemy mine has been destroyed.
Multiple enemy spy plane contacts.
And you knew I was there.
Take this. Net call. Hostile chopper gunner operating. Hostile artillery targeting active. Incoming artillery. Losing Charlie. Bad luck, MI6. RTB for debrief.
We better get our...
Kill confirmed. Weapons hot. Покажите им Коськину мать. Hostile spy plane established overhead.
Come on.
Hostile spy plane established overhead.
Enemy flag.
Multiple hostile spy planes detected. Artillery targeting detected. Net call, incoming artillery. C-trap, napalm strike inbound. Hostile artillery target detected. Net call, incoming artillery.
Spy plane available for tasking.
Spy plane is standing. Spy plane mission timeline 50% expanded.
Proximity mine was destroyed by hostile action.
Mission timeline expired.
Hold fire.
Hostile attack helicopter inbound. Hostile artillery target. Net call, incoming artillery. Hostile spy plane established overhead.
Incoming frag.
Spy plane available for tasking. Napalm strike awaiting orders. Your proximity.
Napalm release. Danger close. Inferno 1-9 is for AOR. Commencing weapons release.
Spy plane perimeter established, Angels 3.
Inferno 1-9 exiting mission area.
Spy plane MTL 50%, check. We are flying on fumes. Spy plane returning to base.
Stop incoming.
Bring AOR. Tanks out. Hostile spy plane established overhead. Pilot 7 sustaining damage.
Enemy action.
They are gone.
Твою мать, we're falling behind.
Hostile artillery targeting. Artillery inbound. The mission clock is expiring.
Spy plane available for tasking.
Spy plane commencing surveillance operation. Hostile artillery targeting active. Net call, incoming artillery. Spy plane 100% on my mark. Mark. Control, stand down.
Another 30 seconds. This would have been different.